I am the school's recognized beauty. But I'm not just a pretty face, I'm also the top student in my grade. A woman of both talent and intellect, that's me. But in my senior year of high school, everything was ruined by a teacher who forced me to sit next to the school's most notorious underachiever, the so-called heartthrob, to tutor him. Who would have thought this heartthrob would launch an intense pursuit of me, spreading rumors everywhere that I was his girlfriend, almost driving me to drop out of school. The day before the college entrance exams, he even lured me to a hotel, filmed a video, and posted it on major websites. I was the school belle, but I became a laughingstock instead. My future was utterly ruined. And it was only now that I realized, it was all part of a sinister plot. My parents tried to seek justice for me, only to end up as two lifeless bodies in the morgue. Overwhelmed by grief, I jumped from the school's high-rise building. Yet, to my surprise, when I opened my eyes, I found myself back in my senior year of high school. Less than a year left before the college entrance exams. By strict calculation, 325 days. Everyone, give it your all. Don't let a decade of hard work go to waste in the end. Leave no regrets. Before class ended, our homeroom teacher and deputy director of academic affairs, Victor, delivered a fiery pep talk. Everyone was numb to it. Only I shed tears. Of course, it wasn't over a few motivational lines that made me cry. It was because I had been reborn. Bella, what's wrong? Don't tell me my dad's speech got you all emotional? Ashley, my deskmate, leaned closer to me with a concerned look. Ashley is very pretty, I'm the campus belle, and so is she. The only difference is that she looks more mature, with a hint of seductiveness, while I have an innocent, charming demeanor, like what people would call the image of your first love. During our school years, it's natural that everyone preferred my look. Seeing me shed tears, she even took out a tissue to wipe them away. Just I strain, I dodged her touch. It felt gross. From the corner of my eye, I noticed her expression darken, her eyes brimming with uncontrollable jealousy and calculation. In my previous life, Ashley and I were best friends, and I considered her my closest companion. Yet, to my shock, she spiked my drink and allowed Leo to drag me into a hotel. Leo harmed me, a vile scoundrel through and through. But Ashley and our homeroom teacher, Victor, were the masterminds behind it all. They colluded, just to secure a guaranteed admission slot to Tsinghua or Peking University, and had Leo ruin me. Bella, come to my office for a moment. At that moment, Victor waved at me and left the classroom. I knew, today was the day he'd assign me to sit beside Leo. In the office, Victor smiled at me. Bella, you're the top student in our class, excelling in every subject. As for Leo, he ranks last, failing every course. So, I think you should help him out. Don't worry, I'll definitely recommend you for this scholarship. Victor smiled kindly. If it were my past self, I would have been thrilled. But as someone who has been reborn, I've already figured it all out. Every year I was the top student, yet whenever it came to scholarship selection, it was never me, either Ashley or Evan got it. Could there really be no foul play? To be honest, I really wanted to refuse. But to get through senior year smoothly, I had no choice but to agree. It wasn't just for the scholarship. Most of all, I'm just an ordinary child from a common family, with no special background. The only advantage I have is my outstanding academic performance. I have a chance to compete for the top spot in the province. As for the second-ranked Evan, he's the son of the director of the Education Bureau. And Ashley is in third place. But there are only 2 guaranteed admission spots to Tsinghua and Peking University. Based on the current situation, it would go to me and Evan. However, Victor didn't dare to scheme against Evan, so he could only direct his sinister plans toward me. After weighing the pros and cons, I agreed. Because I don't just want revenge against Leo. I also want to get back at Ashley and Victor. Bella, you're such a good girl. Don't worry, as long as Leo's academic performance improves, I'll make sure his family comes to thank you in person. Victor was overjoyed. In the past, I would have thought the teacher was happy for me. But now I understand, it was his cunning plan succeeding. I smiled without saying a word. My adorable face, as usual, was filled with nothing but innocence. Back in the classroom, Ashley asked me what her father had called me over for. She clearly knew the answer but still pretended otherwise. How disgusting. Probably she would even call me an idiot in her heart. I told her the truth. Bella, did Dad really say that? Is he out of his mind? Ashley stood up for me, but looking at her disgusting face, I found it laughable. Every time it's the same. The father and daughter appear to be at odds on the surface, but is that really the case? It's nothing more than one playing the bad cop and the other the good cop. Whenever first place is mine, all the benefits go to Ashley. Every time she claims Dad is biased, every time she promises to take my side. Yet every time, it comes to nothing. I was just a naive fool who actually believed her. I'm going to talk to him about it. Ashley huffed angrily and started to leave. In the past, I would have tried to stop her, even thanked her, letting her enjoy the satisfaction before taking over the matter myself. But this time I didn't utter a word. I just sat there, pulling out the familiar test papers. Ashley took a step, pausing in surprise when she realized I wasn't stopping her. I'll help talk to my dad. How can they pair you with Leo? I could never bear to lose such a good, hard-working deskmate like you. She left, and I packed her bag for her. As for Leo, well, bring him on. Smoking, drinking, skipping school, fighting, a complete mess of a guy. With nothing but a handsome face, as if he stepped out straight from a fairy tale. His family conditions were decent, and he was loyal, never hesitating to spend money on friends. In school days, such boys were lethal, like a devil among angels. Falling, yet standing apart. Extraordinarily enchanting. So, whether boys or girls, everyone adored him. In my past life, I was almost swayed by his relentless pursuit. Though I barely resisted, it wasn't due to my own strong will. It was simply that I didn't want to drop out of school, or rather, I wanted to get into university first. If we were in university, I'm afraid it wouldn't even take a month, I'd already be under him. He is simply that kind of charming person. Every girl in the entire school has a secret crush on him. After packing up her school bag, I lowered my head to look at the test paper. Thankfully, nothing had changed. Before long, Ashley returned. She angrily vented a long stream of words to me, most of which were indignation on my behalf. I remained silent. Still working on my test paper. Bella, why don't I take you to see the principal? Since it's my dad involved, the principal will definitely intervene. It's a shame Ashley didn't pursue acting. No need, I said calmly. What do you mean no need? Don't you know what kind of person Leo is? Sitting next to him will affect your studies. Ashley considered things from my perspective, putting herself in my shoes. The surrounding classmates couldn't help but nod in agreement. She always uses this trick to make everyone think she's the good guy, the positive role model. In order to fight for the students' interests, she didn't hesitate to argue and fall out with her father. But what happened? Everyone still lost what they lost, yet they had to give her a thumbs up, praising her for being righteous. What a schemer. In the past, I couldn't see through this. But now, it's child's play. Watching her go further and further overboard, I smiled and raised my head to speak. Ashley, this isn't good of you. How can you discriminate against students who don't perform well academically? Aren't we all classmates? Shouldn't helping each other be the right thing to do? After I finished speaking, Ashley was visibly stunned. I wasn't referring to Leo, I was talking about students who struggle academically. In everyone's eyes, the top 10 students in the class are considered good at academics. As for the 11th place, parents would say it's just average. Not to mention those beyond the 20th place. What about beyond the 50th? So in the class, there are still more students who don't perform well academically. With my words, I undoubtedly pushed her into the spotlight, and many couldn't help but turn their gaze toward her. I didn't do anything. Bella, how could you say such things? She was extremely nervous, her smiling face now looking somewhat twisted. Ashley, I remember you ranked third in the last exam. How about this? Why don't you talk to the homeroom teacher and offer to help Leo? I said with a faint smile, my tone calm. Huh? This? She was instantly at a loss for words. After going through so much effort to get Leo by my side, how could she possibly agree? Just kidding, I said with a blink, picking up her backpack. I'd also miss having you as my deskmate, but there's nothing I can do about what the homeroom teacher decides. Just let Leo come sit here this afternoon. After I finished with a smile, Ashley's face turned even more livid. Because our seats were the best in the class, and Leo was the worst in the class. If it's not her leaving, then it's me sitting next to Leo. I wouldn't be that stupid. Ashley stared blankly at me, almost blurting out that I should switch seats with Leo's deskmate. But I cut her off. You're my best friend, just give this seat to me. Leo needs a good spot to study too. Or are you really that unwilling to give up even one seat? After I finished speaking, she had no way to argue back. She and Victor were the ones scheming, of course she didn't want any surprises. Normally, it's the academically strong students who truly need the good seats. But now, her dad asked me to help Leo, making him the one who needs the spot more. What's more, I made it clear, was she really reluctant? The implication was obvious, did she really look down on the underachiever so much? With so many people watching, she couldn't argue back and could only storm off with a cold expression, snatching her backpack. I smirked, sat back in my seat, and continued working on my problems. Leo returned, plopping down beside me reeking of cigarettes. Disgusted, I completely ignored him. Help him with his studies? Was I out of my mind? He ruined my last life, why would I lift a finger for him? But if that were all, I wouldn't have even let him sit next to me. I want revenge. Leo is the entry point. But now is not the time yet. He does harass me frequently, but sitting in the front row, right under the teacher's watchful eyes, he doesn't dare to go too far. Several times his actions were too obvious, and the teacher made him stand outside as punishment, allowing me to study in peace. Soon, a month passed. My exam results remained consistently excellent, always ranking first in mock exams. In contrast, this time Ashley dropped to 7th place. Probably because this matter distracted her, she didn't perform well this time. And I know for sure, she must be anxious. Bella, you're really amazing, first place again this time. Ashley congratulated me insincerely, and I just smiled, telling her it was merely luck. Of course, she wouldn't believe that. Moreover, I believe she's getting desperate. After school in the evening, I secretly followed her to the school's secluded corner and took out my phone. And standing right in front of her was none other than Leo. Leo, you need to work harder. At this rate, I won't be able to get a guaranteed admission to Tsinghua or Peking University. Ashley affectionately hugged Leo and gave him a light kiss on the cheek. That moment was also captured in my photo album. Starting the next day, Leo indeed launched a fierce pursuit of me. Bella, you're the school's recognized campus belle, and I'm the heartthrob. I think we'd make a great pair. Be my girlfriend. He confessed his feelings to me right in front of the whole class. Immediately, our classmates started teasing us, while Ashley stood among the crowd, her gaze venomous like a snake's. Sorry, I'm not interested, I refused without hesitation. In my previous life, he went around telling everyone I was his girlfriend, leading to misunderstandings, all because I hadn't rejected him properly. I was too shy back then. When he confessed, I panicked and ran away, which made everyone misunderstand. In this lifetime, I'll make sure everyone knows I don't like you. But you'll have no choice but to chase after me. You're destined to be this simp. What did you say? You don't agree? Well, confessing once isn't enough to prove my sincerity. Bella, you must not agree right away. That would be no fun at all. His words were dangerous, but at that age, people were drawn to such unconventional remarks. Sure enough, the very next day, his pursuit became even more intense. Skip class, go buy me milk tea. Then I straight up threw it in the trash. He didn't get discouraged and bought me roses, which I then gave to our female Chinese teacher. He kept buying me food, drinks, and fun things. I gave them all away. Leo treated us. Leo gave this. It's from Leo, he won't mind if you take it. Every time, it drove him crazy with frustration, but he couldn't do anything about it. After all, he was the one pursuing me. How could he contradict me? Every time, Ashley would grit her teeth in anger, but when I looked at her, she would smile so genuinely. Yet, in the end, she still couldn't hold it in. Bella, you're really lucky, Leo actually likes you, she said enviously. Is that so? I actually think you and Leo are a great match, I replied with a smile. Huh? Me? He wouldn't even look at me. Bella, actually. I think Leo is great, so handsome and so devoted. If it were me, I might even be tempted. Are you really not tempted? She wanted to use different tricks to get me to agree, how could I not see through her sneaky intentions? You think Leo is pretty good? I asked her in return. She was taken aback for a moment, but then nodded. I think he's all right. After all, he's handsome and so devoted. I think. Leo, Ashley says you're handsome and devoted. Why don't you go after Ashley instead and stop bothering me? I immediately cut her off and shouted at Leo. That one remark. Leo was embarrassed, Ashley was embarrassed. The whole class exploded with excitement. As for me, I just smiled, took my mistake notebook, and went to ask the teacher for clarification. Whatever happened after that, I couldn't be bothered to care. Green tea bitch, poisonous snake of a woman, just wait for me to slowly deal with you. What I need to focus on now is studying hard, getting into university, and letting my parents enjoy a good life. Even though I want revenge on them, I won't let it interfere with my studies. After this, things are going to get even more interesting. Leo pursued me, while Ashley was labeled as having a crush on him. Now things are getting interesting. Leo's pursuit of me grew more intense, and the classmates buzzed with gossip. Some said she was lovesick, others claimed she wasn't as good as me. In short, public opinion can be terrifying. It drove her crazy. Meanwhile, I sat back calmly, watching their performance unfold. Because I knew Ashley would definitely take the next step. Sure enough, the next day Leo went all out. He confessed his love to me in front of the whole school. During the morning break, Leo knelt on one knee on the playground, holding a bouquet of roses. I like you, Bella. Be my girlfriend, he shouted loudly, drawing a crowd of classmates to witness the scene. Bella, Leo confessed to you. Oh my God. How handsome is that? The classmates went wild. He is quite handsome. Unfortunately, he's just a fool. Or perhaps, he's merely a tool being used by someone else. I don't pity him. I just lament how blind he is. However, watching Leo kneeling downstairs, I suddenly remembered something about him, that he's actually the illegitimate son of a developer in the city. After the college entrance exam, he was acknowledged by his father and became part of the family, instantly transforming into a rich second-generation heir. In the previous life, the ending was that Ashley married Leo and lived a happy life. But in this life, I won't let them have a good ending. That malicious Ashley, I'll make sure she suffers a fate worse than death. As for that fool Leo, since you chose to be Ashley's blade, then prepare for it to be blunted. I returned to my seat, continuing my studies, completely ignoring the commotion outside. Leo caused such a disturbance that it not only drew the attention of students but also the school administrators and even the principal. The outcome was predictable, he was taken to the office. But for some reason even I was summoned to the office. Looking at Victor, I sneered inwardly. No doubt he had been spreading lies again. Bella, you're at the crucial stage of college entrance exams right now, you absolutely cannot be in a puppy love relationship. I rank first in the city and have the potential to become the provincial champion. Naturally, I'm the school's treasure. Victor is disgusting, acting solely for his daughter's benefit. But the principal and others only care that if I can become the provincial champion, it would bring incomparable glory to the school. A milestone. Because our school has never produced a provincial number 1 before. Teachers, principal, I've never considered puppy love. I've consistently rejected Leo. If you don't believe me, just ask my classmates. They all know this. But, what I'm trying to say is, Ashley seems to like Leo. I'm her best friend, and I've tried talking her out of it many times, so, should we call Ashley over? I can help you guys get her here? I was so naive and innocent that it made all the principals nervous. Only Victor gritted his teeth in frustration, and the way he looked at me had completely changed. The result was that Ashley was called into the office and lectured. When she returned, she didn't make a scene with me. After all, I was just stating the facts. Since she had the nerve to say Leo was handsome, she should face the consequences. I thought Leo might show some restraint after this incident. But I underestimated him. The guy is still bold as brass, continuing to pursue me. But I still refuse. I just want to see how far this simp can grovel. In other words, I also want to know what lengths Leo is willing to go to for Ashley. This clueless man might just become my trump card. In my past life, you screwed me over. In this life, it's my turn to screw you over. Fair and square. Time dragged on, and another month passed. In the second exam, my grades remained at the top. Ashley might have also regained her form, ranking third. However, she was still far from achieving her goal of guaranteed admission to Tsinghua or Peking University. So she became anxious. And me? I bore the brunt of it. One day after school, I was stopped on my way home by a bunch of delinquent girls. White moonlight. Seems like you love playing hard to get. What kind of person turns down our Leo for 2 whole months? I can't stand people like you. Stop pretending. Just spread your legs and let our Leo have his fun, or you'll regret it. I laughed. A few delinquent girls also came to give me trouble. Did they really think that just because I have an innocent face, I'm some naive pushover? Did they expect me to cower after just a few threats? You want to hit me? Don't you find yourselves ridiculous? It's my freedom not to like Leo. Do I have to like him just so he can cut ties with you? Save your breath. I'm actually giving you opportunities. As for spreading my legs? Sorry, but Leo isn't even worthy of that. I sneered back, and the delinquent girls flared up in anger, immediately raising their hands to hit me. Think carefully. If that slap lands, it won't be a small matter. Even though you're minors, you'll still have to pay compensation. Is it worth hitting me for a scumbag who doesn't even like you? Or do you think your Leo brother will even glance your way if you hit me? Or do you think your Leo brother will help you pay the compensation if you hit me? Think it through. As I spoke, I set my bag aside and stared at them, even closing my eyes. They weren't stupid, they understood my words. If they hit me, I wouldn't let it go. Paying up would be inevitable. Leo wouldn't pay them any attention either. Seeing that they hadn't made a move, I smiled. You liking Leo is your choice. But, he might not be a good guy. I have a pretty face, so he likes me. Ask him if he knows anything about me. What does he like about me? What's my favorite food? My favorite color? He doesn't know any of this, yet he suddenly confesses to me. What he's really after is my looks, isn't it? Men like that are boring. Do you really want to end up with someone who only likes your face? Save your breath, sisters. A man who truly likes you should appreciate your inner qualities. Time ages all, beauty fades. What will you be like at 30 or 40? I said these words and put on my backpack. Actually, I didn't have to say these things to them. The reason is simple, I wanted them to relay this message to Leo. Likewise, I also want to tell them not to be so foolish, not to cause trouble for me, and to save themselves from unnecessary troubles too. I left, and they all sat there like wooden chickens. Sure enough, the news reached Leo's ears. The very next day, he asked me what I liked. I just grinned and said, I like the pan-fried buns from the southern part of the city, but they have to be from the first batch out of the oven. To pursue me, he actually went there. By the time he came back, it was almost noon. Here, the dumplings you like, he said. Most people would probably be touched by this. But I knew those dumplings were meant for me, yet the sentiment behind them was truly for Ashley. That's perfect. If he cares so much about Ashley, then I can rest easy. Sorry, it's cold now, feed it to the dogs. I sneered coldly, then turned and walked away. Behind me, Leo's furious roar echoed. Steamed buns were smashed all over the ground. He was losing patience. Perfect. Just as expected, after school that day, I saw Ashley with him again. Leo, just hang in there, you're so handsome, she's bound to fall for you. You'll definitely help me, won't you? Ashley clung to Leo. This time, she didn't just kiss his cheek. She kissed his lips. Smiling, I snapped a photo of the scene and waited quietly. A few more days passed, with Leo constantly pestering me about this and that. And me? I deliberately toyed with him. Fried dough sticks from the west side, jianbing from the east, pan-fried buns from the south, and candied chestnuts from the west. Whatever I asked for, he would do it. But tonight, he finally snapped. After school, he cornered me at the back gate of the school. Bella, I'm not a dog. I've tolerated you for long enough. What will it take for you to be my girlfriend? I smiled. The moment had finally arrived, the most crucial part. But I didn't reveal my final condition. Because it wasn't enough yet. He still had to face one last test. I like boys who do well in their studies, and I won't force you. For math, just do your best, passing next week's exam will be enough. He was failing every subject. How hard would it be to catch up? If he could actually pass on his own, it would prove without a doubt that his love for Ashley was real. True love is priceless, after all. Might as well put it to good use. You. Leo's expression darkened in frustration. What's wrong? Is my condition too difficult? Besides, I'm thinking of you too. If you can't even get into college, how are we supposed to date? Most importantly, it'd be embarrassing. Just humor my vanity, okay? I laughed. What he said was nonsense. He wouldn't do it for me. But I knew this statement would make him understand one thing. If he wants to be with me, he must improve his grades. I left, looking forward to his performance. In the following days, he really studied hard, and I saw it with my own eyes. Honestly, I was surprised. At the same time, I was also very happy. Study away, Leo. No matter how hard you study, you'll always be a loser, a waste. In your past life, you were manipulated and harmed by Ashley, and it ruined me. In this life, I will manipulate you and ruin Ashley. This is karma. His studying also surprised the classmates. They were all stunned, not knowing why he had changed like this. But, intentionally or unintentionally, I passed the news to Ashley. Everyone heard it. Oh my God, Leo actually studied for you. Is this the charm of a school flower? No, no, no. It's the charm of the top student campus belle. Bella, do you think I have a chance? I smiled as I looked at these classmates. Some of them were good, while others had ulterior motives. I didn't mind. Of course, if you can improve your scores by 60 points from your current level, I'll consider it. You can compete with Leo fairly. My words caused an uproar in the entire class. But I was just making a casual joke, yet it somehow significantly boosted the class's academic atmosphere. The incident even caught the principal's attention. Ah. Bella, you child. The principal called me in for a talk, both pleased and concerned. Principal, I won't have an early romance. But if they pursue me, I can't help it. Isn't this the best outcome now? I finished with a smile, and the principal nodded as well. It is indeed good, but how long can we keep this hidden? If they find out you've deceived them, might they be unwilling to study instead? The principal expressed concern. I'll encourage them. I must win the principal's favor. It's only a matter of time before I clash with the homeroom teacher, Victor. If the principal stands with me, I'll have a chance to take him down. That's my goal, after all. Soon, the class's exam results were announced. Everyone's scores had improved. However, improving 60 points at once was extremely difficult. But still, there was hope. Keep up the good work. You can do it. I smiled at them, giving them encouragement. Leo, on the other hand, looked at his math test paper excitedly. I passed. I passed. Leo stared at me, and so did Ashley. The whole class was looking at me. Are you going to confess to me? I teased deliberately. Yes. I want to confess to you. Because of you, I passed. Bella, be my girlfriend. He knelt on one knee again in the classroom and shouted. The classmates started cheering and making noise once more. Only Ashley clenched her fists tightly. Come out with me for a moment. I smiled. He passed, but in everyone else's eyes, he had moved me. I took him to the back of the school building, where it was just the two of us. Bella, why did you bring me here? Could it be that you can't hold back anymore? He moved closer to me, pinched my chin with his hand. His charming face and dazzling handsomeness were irresistible to most girls. Like a devil, dangerous in his decadence, yet impossible to resist approaching. I brushed his hand away and instead smiled. You're mistaken. I just wanted to tell you one thing. After saying this, I took out my phone and showed him the photo. Leo's face instantly turned panicked. You know everything. He looked at me in disbelief. His panic wasn't because he was afraid of me, but because he knew he couldn't succeed anymore, so there was no way to explain to Ashley. That's right, I did find out. After I finished speaking, Leo's eyes turned red. So you've been playing me for 2 months, he roared. Don't shout. I did this for your own good. I began brainwashing him. Doing me a favor? You think I'm an idiot, don't you? Is this how you do me a favor? Are you out of your mind? He couldn't hold it in anymore. Thinking about all the effort he'd put into me over the past 2 months, he must be kicking himself now. Just hear me out, and you'll see if I'm really doing you a favor or not. I cleared my throat and launched into a fresh round of PUA tactics. Leo, you've got incredible persistence, and it really moved me. That's why I've decided to help you out. You're interested in Ashley, right? Well, I'll help you win her over. You don't have to believe me, but why not give it a shot? After I finished speaking, Leo looked at me coldly. They may have kissed, but Ashley comes from a much better family than his, so much better that being with him was out of the question. Deep down, he knew it. He wasn't actually stupid. Couldn't he tell whether Ashley was just using him? But my words gave him hope. If he truly wanted to have Ashley, I could help him. How? He asked, staring at me. I'll pretend to be your girlfriend. She'll definitely regret it. Women, they don't value what they have, but they yearn for what they can't get. So, she'll definitely come back to you. Come here. I grabbed his arm and then took a photo. His face wasn't shown. Post it on the forum, I said, then walked away directly. Leo watched my retreating figure, gritted his teeth, and posted the update. Instantly, it caused a huge stir. Everyone saw the photo. Although his face wasn't shown, right after we went out, he posted such a photo. How could they not guess? Oh my God, Leo succeeded. It's over, my goddess is gone. Ashley's eyes were filled with melancholy and complexity. Ashley, thank you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known how outstanding Leo is. I'm really grateful to the homeroom teacher for seating him next to me. I said to Ashley with a smile. Her expression couldn't hide its ugliness. But I found it beautiful. In the days that followed, Leo was incredibly attentive to me. You could say he was my protector. We were inseparable, even eating together all the time. However, what we whispered about most often was helping him pursue Ashley. And he seemed to sense that Ashley was paying more attention to him, which made him excited. Overjoyed. I just sneered. What an idiot. Serves him right for being played. He's quite handsome, but unfortunately, he has no brains. Leo may be a scoundrel, but he's nowhere near as vicious as Ashley. I do hate him, but I hate Ashley even more. That's why I'm using him. That's why I endure the disgust and put on a smile for him. Because I know only then will Ashley be even more furious. The main reason, of course, was my grades. No matter what, I remained the top student. Ashley was anxious and dragged Leo into trying to influence me. As for me, I instilled noble principles in Leo. Things like how I needed to study hard so my parents could live a good life. I also told him that he must definitely study hard and make sure his parents live a good life, and so on. Ashley was playing the game of deception. I, on the other hand, was playing the game of open strategy. One was constantly malicious in front of you, while the other was constantly preaching lofty ideals day in and day out. Over time, the tide began to shift. Leo's attitude toward me slowly changed. Especially after I took him to meet my parents. Seeing that my family was indeed very poor, I told him that I must work hard to improve myself. The way he looked at me changed. Even though he liked Ashley very much, he still felt guilty toward me. After all, everyone has a conscience. I never wronged him. And on this day, Ashley finally had a falling out with Leo. Ashley, maybe we should target Evan instead. Bella, I just can't handle her. Leo was about to back out. No. Evan's father works in the education bureau, we can't possibly handle him. Can't you just force it? Even if you do something with her, as long as her grades drop, I can secure the guaranteed admission. Ashley was still as vicious as ever. Leo's expression changed too, though he didn't say anything. I heard everything clearly and shook my head with a smile. Ashley. You still don't understand this man. Yes, he's bad, but compared to you, he still has a shred of goodness. After that, Leo's attitude towards me changed quite a bit. He genuinely started treating me like a girlfriend. Holding an umbrella for me on sunny days, and on rainy days too. Whatever I wanted to eat, he would buy it for me. Even if I didn't want anything, he would still get me something. He spoiled me endlessly. And I often praised Leo in front of Ashley, calling him a good man. Time flew by, and soon it was midterm exams. I still ranked first, while Ashley's grades had dropped drastically, landing her at 9th place, a historic low for her. But what I never expected was that the city allocated 2 spots for a week-long study program at Tsinghua and Peking University. Naturally, I didn't get to go. The reason was simple, I was in a relationship too young. I was suspended for a week. So Ashley and Evan went instead. Evan looked at me, hesitating to speak, but I knew what he wanted to say. Don't worry, I'm fine. Evan is a good person, outstanding in both character and academics, but there's nothing he could do about class matters. If you need anything, tell me. I can talk to my dad. Don't get me wrong, I just feel, this isn't fair to you. He's righteous. I could totally use him. But I didn't, because vengeance has its proper owner and debt its debtor. I would never do that. Thank you, but I'm really fine. I smiled, packed my bag, and left the classroom. Leo left with me. On the way, he looked at me, equally awkward. Are you okay? He actually cared about me. It seems my approach was right. People, after all, fear the feeling of indebtedness. Once that exists, many things become easier to handle. No, it doesn't matter whether I go or not. The important thing is you. Have you gotten closer to Ashley recently? I smiled sweetly, and his gaze toward me kept shifting. The calculation in his eyes diminished, replaced by emotion. Falling in love with me? Heh. If this guy actually fell for me, it would be even more ridiculous. It's all right. Leo didn't want to talk about Ashley. I wasn't sure if it was for my sake. As we were walking, suddenly, a car blocked our path. Before I could even react, a few brawny men got out of the car and dragged me inside. Who are you? Leo immediately started cursing. A man was seated in the front row, about 4 or 5 years older than us. I recognized him. His name was Dorian. He had dropped out of junior high and later became influential, opening a bar. He wasn't particularly wealthy, but he was someone with status and reputation. From what I remember, he later started a company that did quite well. On top of that, he had a position of power in the underground scene and became the boss of the east side of town. Of course, what caught my attention about him wasn't just that. He had a sister who went insane. As for the reason, I understand it now. Dorian. Leo's face immediately changed color. He was just a small-time punk, and of course he was scared when seeing the big boss. I heard you went to my place to drink and cause trouble? Leo, you're quite something. Dorian snorted coldly, lit a cigarette, and between puffs of smoke, exuded an overwhelming boss-like aura. I was wrong, Dorian. Let me off this time, I swear I'll never dare do it again. Leo has become a coward. But I don't think he's wrong. When under someone else's roof, one must bow their head. He can't win this fight, and if he stubbornly tries, he'll be the one to suffer. Heh, scared now, huh? But you'll have to pay a little price. With a cold laugh, the burly man next to him covered his head and gave him a brutal beating. Only after he was battered and bruised did they finally stop. I didn't make a sound the entire time. Dorian, you've had your fun. How about letting us go now? Even if you won't let me leave, at least let my girlfriend go. She has nothing to do with this. After Leo finished speaking, Dorian finally turned to look at me. A flash of astonishment passed through his eyes. A fine woman. Leo, it seems your bad habits haven't changed a bit. After his initial astonishment at seeing me, Dorian quickly became furious. Leo stammered, unsure of what to say. Dorian let out a cold snort and then said, "Get out of the car. Your girlfriend is mine now." After he finished speaking, Leo wanted to say something, but his mouth was covered, and he was then kicked out of the car. The car started, and I was taken away. From Leo's perspective, I must have been beyond rescue. But I knew Dorian wouldn't do that. He was a big brother, not the kind to lower himself like that. Soon, the car pulled over by the roadside. Dorian waved his hand, and a few people got out, leaving just him and me inside. "Aren't you afraid of me?" Dorian, seeing my unfazed expression, asked curiously. "I'm not afraid." "Oh? Why?" He was perplexed. As a notorious villain, it was natural for him to wonder why I showed no fear. "Because you're a man of status. You wouldn't lay a hand on a defenseless high school student like me. Besides, you're clear about grudges and favors. Since I haven't provoked you, you wouldn't come after me." I gave my reason, which made Dorian burst into laughter. "You're smart, but blind. Stay away from Leo, that man is a scoundrel." Dorian said these words. I frowned, pondered for a moment, and then responded. "Is it because of your sister?" The words "your sister" seemed like a taboo, instantly changing Dorian's expression. You know about my sister?" He stared at me, clearly unable to believe it. "I can help her," I answered truthfully. "You? Reason." He pressed further. "What if I said I came close to experiencing what she went through? Would you believe me?" After I spoke, Dorian took a deep breath but remained silent. "Leave. I won't let you see my sister." He shook his head. When it came to his sister, he was a good brother. I understood. Are you willing to trust me? I continued to ask. I told you, I won't let you see my sister. Don't you understand? I'm not talking about your sister, I'm talking about your business. After I finished speaking, he looked even more confused. You understand business? You don't know shit. Dorian didn't believe me at all. Really? Well, what if I told you I know the commercial land in the East has already caught the Vanderlyn family's attention, and I even have their bid price right here? I said with a smile. I knew all about this. After all, it was such big news in my past life, impossible not to know. What? You know? Dorian was shocked, staring at me in disbelief. Correct, believe me or not. Think about it. Dorian narrowed his eyes. Go on, why are you helping me? I didn't mince words either. It's simple. Residential buildings will be constructed there, I want the largest unit and another commercial space. Agree to this, and I'll help you. After I finished, Dorian studied me with interest. I thought you were naive, but turns out you're quite shrewd. After he finished speaking, I also laughed. Leo is a bastard, I know. I just didn't have a choice. Ask around and you'll find out about me. I smiled, confident that he would definitely check up on me. He wouldn't trust someone like me so easily. Fine, I agree, he nodded, and without wasting words, I gave him the quote. The reason I helped him, aside from the money, was mainly to seek protection. Dorian was a principled man, and since this was about revenge against Leo, it made sense to use his influence. I'm just a weak woman, I don't have that much capability. He escorted me home, and at the door I saw a nervous Leo. You're okay? Seeing him, I smiled. I'm fine, Dorian didn't give me any trouble. Leo visibly relaxed, that's good, that guy is a local gangster. Of course, I knew better than him. In fact, I knew even more about myself than he did. Because the Vanderlyn family I just mentioned is one of the wealthiest families in the city. And Leo's biological father belongs to that family. Right after high school graduation, he was recognized by his roots and returned to his family lineage. Instantly becoming a rich second-generation heir, he married Ashley and began living a life of indulgence. And at that time, I was abandoned by Leo, failed to get into college, and ended up becoming a laughingstock. Then, I watched them get married, coupled with my parents' sudden accident, which was actually framed by Leo, before I died on the roadside. So, I jumped off a building. That's why I deceived Leo. I told him he would never catch up to Ashley in this lifetime because their statuses were on different levels. But I deliberately hid the fact that he could become a wealthy second-generation heir. Because of this incident, Leo became even more nervous about me. Soon, this semester came to an end. However, due to remedial classes for the senior year, we still had to attend classes as usual. But my grades remained in first place. Undeniably first place. Ashley was anxious, and Victor was too. In the office, Victor looked at me with a smile on his face. Bella, your grades guarantee you a recommendation. And this spot, I've given it to you. But I still hope you'll take the college entrance exam. Hearing this, I chuckled. Why, teacher? I've already secured the recommendation. Why should I still take the exam? I don't understand, of course I'm pretending. You've hit the nail on the head. I want to discuss a deal with you. You'll get the guaranteed admission, but the name on the exam will be my daughter's. How about it? As payment, it's not just this spot. I'll also give you 50,000. This was Victor's condition. He stopped pretending and laid his cards on the table. I chuckled and nodded. Sure. I agreed. Of course, it was a fake agreement. Just buying time, how could I possibly agree to this bastard's terms for real? But Victor was still delighted, genuinely believing I was some naive airhead. Agreeing just for that 50 grand? What an idiot. After this incident, Victor couldn't see enough of me. Taking note of this, I suppressed a cold laugh. Leo and I remained inseparable as ever, his feelings for me seemingly growing deeper. Only, there was always a hint of heartache in his gaze whenever he looked at me. I'd just smile without saying anything. As the days passed, my focus had already shifted away from Leo. Now, it was all about Dorian. I went to the psychiatric hospital and saw Summer. She was a very beautiful girl, but ended up in this state. Seeing her, I saw myself. Because she was just like me. She was raped, but couldn't find the culprit, and eventually had a breakdown. "You're very beautiful," I said as I combed her hair, tears falling as I looked at her. In my past life, I jumped off a building to end my life. Though she didn't take her own life, her existence was worse than death. I must help her. From now on, I will come here regularly and chat with her. I don't know how to treat mentally ill patients, but I do know she enjoys talking to me. Or perhaps, she likes me. Maybe because I'm one of the few who treats her kindly. The weather outside is beautiful today. Let's go for a walk together. I held her hand and walked out of the ward. It was her first time leaving the room in the 3 years since she was admitted. She smiled brightly, but my heart ached. If it weren't for that person who hurt her, she would surely be very happy now. Though she has no parents, she has a brother who loves her dearly. "You came." Dorian approached from afar at that moment. He looked at me, seemingly unsurprised. Indeed, this is a hospital with surveillance cameras. I've come here so many times, and he never said a word. Seeing me today must mean my sincerity has finally touched him. "Yeah, I really like your sister. I'm telling the truth." He glanced at me, sat down beside Summer, and then looked at me again. "I've learned about your situation. Leo isn't a good person, yet you managed to use him. I admire that. Also, the project you mentioned is exactly as you described. Well done." He looked at me with admiration in his eyes. "Thank you," I responded politely. "I'll help you, but I need your help too. I've always believed Leo was the one who harmed my sister back then. So, I'll help you take him down. How do you need to proceed?" "I'll cooperate with you." He said the words I most wanted to hear. "I'll notify you. Pleasure working with you." I reached out my hand, and he grasped it. It was a deal. But it was also camaraderie. Helping him was, in truth, helping myself. Although I don't know if what he said was true, I still caught snippets from Leo's words. Specifically, that Summer was once in the same class as Ashley. She was admitted to our school through recommendation. Summer got pregnant unexpectedly, had an abortion, and finally went mad. All of this is so similar to me. I've confirmed that this is the handiwork of Leo and Ashley. And I'm prepared, the first one to take down is none other than Victor. But I never dared before. Because I had no backing. But now I do. During lunch break, I went to the school broadcasting station and got in effortlessly. I took out the recording, placed it in front of the computer, pressed play, and locked the door. Instantly, the entire school echoed with Victor and my voices. "Bella, your guaranteed admission isn't a problem anymore. And this spot, I've given it to you, but I still hope you'll take the college entrance exam." "Why, teacher? I've already been recommended for admission. Why do I still have to take the exam?" You've touched on the key point. I want to discuss a deal with you. You keep the recommendation, but the exam name will be filled in with my daughter's. How about it? As compensation, not only will you keep this recommendation spot, but I'll also give you 50,000. It played over and over again. Victor was furious and tried to storm into the broadcast room, but I had already locked the door. Soon, it alarmed the principal. Even the Education Bureau was shocked. This was an appalling incident. Naturally, I was also summoned to the principal's office. Sigh. "Bella, tell me, why did you have to go so far?" The principal was naturally angry with me. The school had lost face, and so had he. "Principal, I had no choice. The college entrance exams are right around the corner, And if I didn't act this way, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to take them. After I finished speaking, the principal remained silent. But as I was leaving, he told me to be careful. I had long been prepared for this. Dorian would protect me. Victor was dismissed and directly expelled from the school. His dark history was also exposed, and everyone wanted him gone. He was truly a rat in the street now. When Ashley saw me, she looked like she wanted to tear me apart. But without Victor, her life in class wasn't going well either. In the past, she had been the center of attention. But now? She was treated like dirt. Many people had also taken note of her true colors. However, as school ended, a Maybach pulled up right in front of me. Changed cars? I got in the car and saw Dorian. Thanks to you. I bought that plot of land. The Vanderlins were furious and bought the land in the west of the city, but that land has issues. Dorian said with a smile, and then I remembered. That plot of land indeed had problems. It was heavy industry in the early years. Now it's being developed, but it's too soon. The Vanderlins couldn't wait, though. They couldn't let Dorian build his houses and dominate the market first. So, they're taking risks. This is going to be a bomb. One that will blow up the Vanderlin family. By the way, someone wanted to target you and your family. I've already taken care of it for you. Dorian said with a smile, pulling out a video. The footage showed Victor getting slapped. Not enough hits, I smiled. I just didn't show you the bloodier parts. Dorian laughed heartily. I'm not afraid. I know, but that still won't do. He escorted me home, and in the days that followed, he secretly kept me under his protection. Victor was completely at a loss. But Ashley, she had come up with a new plan. I know you can do it, Leo. Didn't you succeed during the high school entrance exam? This time, let's just do it again, okay? Ashley snuggled up to Leo and said with a coquettish tone. But. Leo still couldn't bring himself to agree. After it's over, how about we get our marriage certificate? Once we're officially married, I'll go to university. Ashley showed her sincerity, and Leo nodded in agreement. I smiled. I had been preparing for this day all along. As for what happened during the high school entrance exam, I had already guessed. Ashley is Leo's white moonlight. They were neighbors, and since childhood, Leo has always liked Ashley. As for the reason, perhaps it's just childhood affection. So, for all these years, Leo has been willingly allowing himself to be used by Ashley. I can't really say much about it. But in this lifetime, they've thought too much. The day of the college entrance exams is getting closer. My grades are stable, and I've consistently ranked first. The school teachers are thrilled because they know I have a chance to become the provincial champion. For them, this is the greatest benefit. Leo acts as if nothing has happened and continues to treat me well. I just sneer and accept it all. It's just a performance, and eventually, the curtain will fall. Soon, after 2 months of hard work, it was 3 days before the college entrance exam. Bella, I still have some questions I don't understand. Can you help me review? Looking at Ashley's message, I sneered. I could refuse, but she'd find another way to meet with me. I could have ignored it and focused on my exams, but I chose not to. I wanted to see exactly how they would end up. The stage is set, are you ready? I messaged Dorian. Ready. Dorian replied quickly, and I headed to the library with my backpack, where I saw Ashley. She was delighted and showered me with thanks. We're still best friends. You're helping me review today, and I'll treat you to bubble tea tonight. She looked at me with genuine sincerity. But this face had deceived me. Made me jump to my death. I won't forget. The same scene, the same place, saying the same words. How ridiculous. If I hadn't been reborn, perhaps the outcome would have been the same. But heaven is just so unfair. Great. I smiled and spent a disgusting afternoon with her. At around 4 or 5 o'clock, just as dusk was falling, she eagerly dragged me out for coffee. She even made an excuse to have me fetch something for her, secretly tampering with my coffee. But my acting skills were far better than hers. When I handed her the burger I'd ordered, I accidentally spilled it on her clothes. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I quickly wiped it for her. But it wouldn't come clean. Go wash it in the bathroom, I'll wait for you here, I said hurriedly. She smiled at me, gave an and walked away. Meanwhile, I switched her coffee, drank half of it, and silently waited for her return. Seeing that I'd drunk the coffee made her happy. Last sip. Tomorrow's the college entrance exam, let's do our best together. Cheers. With a smile, I raised my glass and clinked it with hers. Ashley hummed an acknowledgement, clinking her glass with mine. We downed our drinks in one go. I laughed. She laughed too. However, in the end, she passed out, and I gently helped her into Dorian's car. Inside the car, there was another person. Leo. Except, he was also unconscious. The rest is up to you, I said with a chuckle. Don't worry, I won't let them get away with this. Dorian's eyes burned with hatred and overwhelming fury. I know he can't hold back any longer. Waiting for your good news. No need to wait, just keep an eye on your phone tonight, though, strictly adults only. Better not look too much. He burst into laughter as I waved goodbye. Revenge was sweet. At 8 p.m. everything unfolded exactly as Dorian had said. A steamy little film appeared on the school forum, in the group chat. I clicked to take a look and was completely stunned. I had thought Dorian would only record a short clip of video, but to my surprise, he set up multiple camera angles, capturing their faces directly. Leo and Ashley were absolutely lost in passion. It was not just a feast for the eyes but also incredibly aesthetic. After all, Leo was genuinely handsome, and Ashley was truly beautiful. There were comments below. I didn't understand them, but I could guess what they were saying. However, the group chat exploded. Holy crap! That's insane, isn't it? The college entrance exam is tomorrow, and they went to relax? Bella, are you there? Your boyfriend, he. Stop talking nonsense. Someone like that doesn't deserve to be Bella's boyfriend. And this Ashley, she's so gross. We all knew she had her eyes on Leo, but who knew she'd lose control like this? The class group chat exploded. Tomorrow's the college entrance exams, but this was definitely today's highlight. Did you see that? Dorian sent a message. You're a real pro, I replied with a laugh. Don't look too much, give it your best tomorrow. I silently turned off my phone. I was in a great mood. The college entrance exam. This is my turning point. Last time, I failed. I failed because of my best friend, because of the school heartthrob, because of my teacher. But this time, no one can stop me. Outside, the rain poured down noisily. Its end also marked the end of my high school years. The rain stopped. The college entrance exam was over. When I opened my phone again, I saw a text message. It was from Leo. Bella, I'm sorry. He said such a thing. I laughed. Sorry for me? After all this time playing along, did you really think I liked you? How ridiculous. Instead of replying to her, I went to see Dorian. Most likely, it was Leo and Ashley who did it. It's just that they concealed it so well. If not for you, I wouldn't have even suspected Ashley. But they have a video of my sister, so I still have to find it. That's the real burden on her heart. Dorian exhaled a puff of smoke, his eyes brimming with the joy of vengeance yet still carrying a trace of unease. Yeah, I have a good idea. Actually, Leo is the son of the Vanderlyn family. Very few people know this. Why don't you figure something out? After I finished speaking, Dorian froze. What do you mean? He didn't keep up with my train of thought. Idiot, the heavy industrial land in the east of the city, you know. After I finished speaking, Dorian immediately burst into laughter. Bella, you're impressive, I'm getting more and more interested in you. I was stunned. There's a 5-year age gap between us, and besides, I'm a poisonous rose. But Dorian shook his head. I'm not afraid of poison, I know my limits. Yet another man falling for me? I shook my head with a wry smile and stepped out of the car. A few days later, I woke up early because today was an important day. Ashley had an abortion. She was pregnant with Leo's child, so naturally, she had to get an abortion. I arrived at the hospital early and saw her there. Bella. She glared at me fiercely, her eyes blazing with fury. The cards were all on the table now, so of course she didn't need to pretend anymore. But I still had to keep up the act. Don't have an abortion, trust me, or you'll regret it. I looked at her, and my words clearly took her by surprise. What do you mean? I smiled slightly, took out my phone, and opened a file. This was sent to me by Dorian. It contained the information that Leo is an illegitimate child of the Vanderlyn family. Her eyes widened as she stared at the document. Meanwhile, a message popped up in the dialog box. Leo, the illegitimate child of the Vanderlyn family, has been acknowledged and returned to the family. Still want to fight? I asked with a smirk. Ashley didn't answer me, instead dashing out of the hospital like a madwoman. Little did she know, stepping out of here would plunge her into another abyss, one I had meticulously prepared for her. It's done, I texted Dorian with a smile. The latter also sent me a reply. Me too. I smiled. This time, it was finally over. I was waiting for the college entrance exam results, and also waiting to see Leo and Ashley's fate. Does he think returning to his roots is a good thing? What a joke. With 2 pieces of good news, whichever comes first makes no difference to me. But I didn't expect the exam results to come first. I was the top scorer. The school's pride. I accepted everyone's praise and admiration. However, what made everyone most envious wasn't me, but Leo and Ashley. The 2 of them specifically held a banquet for us to celebrate the end of our college entrance exams. Of course, it wasn't sincere, it was just to show off. We all arrived at the hotel, with the protagonists Leo and Ashley arriving hand in hand last. The 2 were a far cry from who they used to be, covered in designer brands and wearing luxury watches. Leo even drove a sports car, anything but low-key. The classmates all stayed silent, their words held little weight now, so it wasn't wise for them to say anything. Though when they looked at me, there was still some sympathy in their eyes. Perhaps in their eyes, if it weren't for Ashley, I would be Leo's fiancée. I would be the daughter-in-law of the Vanderlyn family. At least decades less struggle. Or even, decades of effort wouldn't earn the Vanderlyn family's fortune. But I just laughed. Bella, don't take it to heart. You're the top scholar, you'll definitely find someone great in the future. That's right. You won the academic battle, even if you lost the romantic one, it's still a win. Many people quietly comforted me, and I just smiled. I feel quite pleased with both. After I finished speaking, they didn't understand, but Ashley glanced at me. Bella, you're here too. Well, some people just have this kind of fate. What do we study for? Isn't it just for a bright future? Now, look at me, I've got it. Even though I didn't go to college, I feel like my life is on the rise. She was proud. And rightfully so. She should be. Congratulations. I smiled and raised my glass, but only Leo looked at me with eyes full of apology. He had sent me numerous messages, all saying sorry. He even considered breaking up with Ashley for me. But I refused. I told him, this is your dream, and Ashley deserves it. Birds of a feather flock together, don't they? Thank you, Ashley said with a smile as she clinked her glass with mine, her eyes brimming with excitement. Leo also clinked his glass with mine and downed his drink in one go. Bella, I wish you a bright future. If you ever need anything, remember to reach out, I'll help you. Leo made a promise in front of Ashley for me. This made Ashley's expression turn sour, and she secretly pinched Leo. But Leo didn't seem to care at all, his gaze filled with affection when he looked at me. I smiled. No need to trouble yourself. I will surely have a bright future. But you'd better be careful. After I finished speaking, Ashley was displeased. What do you mean? Right now, Leo is the heir to the Vanderlyn family. The Vanderlyn company has already been handed over to Leo, he's now the legal representative. Ashley was very smug. Legal representative? How ridiculous. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Leo, you're in deep trouble. I sighed, which surprised Leo. What did you say? No one understood, absolutely no one. The project in the east of Vanderlyn family city has issues. You didn't know? The project in the eastern part of the city was originally zoned for heavy industry. Over time, it was bound to cause problems eventually. With too much radiation, many people have already been affected, developing cancer. This matter can no longer be covered up. As soon as I finished speaking, the police barged in. Who is Leo? The scene immediately spiraled into chaos. Leo was taken away. The Vanderlyn family's land had inherent issues to begin with. What they needed wasn't a son, just a scapegoat, someone to take the fall. In the previous life, Leo returned to the family only because the Vanderlyn heir had gotten into trouble, forcing them to bring him back. But in this life, with my warning, could the Vanderlyn heir still run into trouble? Dorian wouldn't let anything happen to him either. So, this blame falls squarely on Leo. I smiled, very satisfied with this outcome. We did it. Dorian looked at me with excitement in his eyes. Did you find the video? I asked curiously. Found it, and everything's been destroyed. Dorian let out a sigh of relief, and I could tell he was genuinely relieved. The existence of that video is like a ticking time bomb, poised to inflict a second wave of harm on Summer at any moment. And if such harm were to strike again, I fear it might leave scars that never truly heal. Bella, you're here. Summer looked at me and smiled. She's recovering quite well, though not fully restored yet. Her condition suggests a complete recovery is within reach. Of course, the knot in her heart remains Leo. His downfall, in turn, serves as Summer's antidote. The days leading up to university still stretch ahead. Truth be told, I'm filled with anticipation, yet a sense of urgency lingers, because I'm eager to uncover how their story will end. However, this outcome was very slow in coming, and there was no other way. I found myself on a university campus. As a freshman and the provincial top scorer, it was only natural for me to give a speech. That day, I stole the spotlight. But I didn't let it go to my head. What I didn't expect, though, was Dorian showing up with his sister. Down below, Summer was clapping for me. Bella, you're amazing. I wish I could be like you, she said, her eyes filled with admiration. You can do it too, I replied immediately. But I didn't even finish high school. Can't go to college anymore. Her eyes were filled with desolation. I'll tutor you, you were such a good student in junior high. You can definitely do it. I wasn't lying to her, I truly believed in her. Really? Bella, you believe me? I nodded, of course I trusted her. Then I'll give it a try. She smiled brightly, and I gave her my best effort in tutoring, unlike how Leo did. College days were quite leisurely and passed by quickly. Before I knew it, an entire semester had gone by. Dorian drove us home in his car. My parents now run a supermarket. It was all thanks to Dorian, who picked out the best location for them. Even when they didn't have enough funds, he provided the money himself. He called it payment and handed me $3 million in cash all at once. I gave it all to my parents. Making money, after all, is meant to bring happiness to the family. On the way back, we listened to music as we drove home. Midway, Dorian received a phone call. After hanging up, he smiled at me. We have the results, the outcome you wanted. I was stunned for a moment, then laughed along. How many years? 10 years. That's a long time. I never expected Leo to be locked up for a full decade. By the way, I have more news to tell you. Ashley found out too. It seems she's going to the hospital. Hearing this, I immediately laughed again. Last time, I persuaded her not to have an abortion. This time, don't ask me to persuade her again. My words, Dorian quickly understood. I'll arrange it. Hospital. Ashley, with her big belly, was already sitting outside the abortion area. At her stage of pregnancy, abortion isn't possible. But she absolutely didn't want to keep it. I saw her, and she saw me. Bella, you ruined me. She looked at me, very agitated. But I just laughed. Oh? My apologies. I looked at her big belly, which was once exactly like mine. But I felt no sympathy, only indifference. You're the most malicious woman I've ever met, she cursed me viciously, and if not for her heavy body, she would have probably already attacked me. Last time, I advised you against having an abortion. This time, I won't advise you. After I finished speaking, Ashley angrily retorted, I wouldn't listen to you anyway. I haven't finished speaking yet. I'll have someone else persuade you. With a smile, I finished speaking as footsteps echoed from outside, while I walked over to the stairwell. Ashley. It was Leo. He had already gone inside, but with Dorian's intervention, he was still able to come out and meet Ashley. You bastard, what are you doing here? Ashley was furious, her anger uncontrollable. Ashley, didn't you say you wanted a child with me? Why? Why are you going to abort it? You said, you'd give me a son, give me a daughter. Were all those just lies? Leo cried. I must have been blind to fall for you. You're nothing but trash, couldn't even handle Bella. And now you want me to bear your son? Keep dreaming. I refuse to let my child be born as the son of a criminal. Ashley was truly heartless. To say such things to a man she'd used for so long. Regardless of anything else, Leo did love her. That much was clear to me. Ashley, what did you say? For you, I committed so many wrongs. Summer was the first, Bella the second. And now you dare say this to me. Even as a condition, after all I'd done for you, giving birth to my son shouldn't be too much to ask, right? Leo was utterly stunned. Get out. Don't even mention Bella to me. If you hadn't failed with her, I would already be studying at Tsinghua or Peking University by now. You useless. Useless. I never want to see you again in my life. Just pretend we never knew each other. Ashley was icily indifferent. Leo sobbed his heart out, kneeling before her. But, it still changed nothing. I sighed and could only shake my head at the sight. As I walked out of the hospital, I saw Dorian. I've already said my greetings, he said to me. What? I didn't understand. You're even more foolish than I am. Well then, just wait for the results. I didn't understand what he meant. But within 2 days, the news came through. Ashley's abortion failed, resulting in severe hemorrhaging. In the end, there was no choice but to remove her uterus to save her life. At that moment, I finally understood why he had said those words to me. I smiled. He truly kept his promise. I went back to the hospital and looked coldly at Ashley in the general ward. When she opened her eyes, the first person she saw was me. You're awake, I said with a smile, pouring her a glass of water. I'll haunt you even as a ghost, Bella, she snarled. Is that so? Don't be in such a hurry, there's something I forgot to tell you. She froze, staring at me. Fear flickered in her eyes. She couldn't possibly understand what I meant, yet fear overwhelmed her. Evan went abroad. He didn't use the guaranteed admission slot for Tsinghua or Peking University. It was for me, and for you. I only heard this news later. Evan was the fairest person, he couldn't stand the methods Victor and Ashley used against me, so he chose to go abroad in the end. He just wanted to give the spot to Ashley. But she never knew. After all, that incident happened after the college entrance exams. And Evan didn't even take the exams. With his grades, he went straight abroad. What did you say? Ashley was in agony. After all her scheming and plotting, this was the outcome. If she hadn't schemed against me, maybe she would have gotten the spot. It's just a pity that her father lost his job, and she no longer has a uterus. This was the best price to pay. I left. This news was enough for her. And just as I descended the stairs, I watched her leap from the building. She, too, has now tasted the sensation of jumping. Except, she didn't die. It was Dorian's doing. He hired world-renowned doctors to keep her alive. But she was left disabled, confined to a hospital bed, unable to speak. Yet her mind remained sharp. The rest of her life will be spent like this. She got what she deserved. After learning about her fate, I went to visit Leo and told him what happened to Ashley. He covered his face and wept bitterly. But after a while, he looked up at me with tender affection. Bella, I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? He gazed at me, his eyes filled with longing, the way a devil looks at an angel. I smiled. Sorry, but I won't give you that chance. After all, this wasn't easy for me to achieve. He froze. What did you say? He clearly didn't understand the meaning behind my words. Do you really think I was helping you? Did you think I didn't know you teamed up with Ashley against me? Too bad you're so foolish. Foolish enough to actually believe I would help you. Leo, blame yourself for misjudging me. You won't be getting out, not in this lifetime. After I finished speaking with a smile, Leo still looked confused. Haven't you understood yet? Fine, let me tell you one more thing. Why do you think the Vanderlyn family chose this moment to acknowledge you as their own? With that single sentence, Leo's eyes widened. The project had messed up, and Leo became the scapegoat. The Vanderlyns had fled, straight to another country, transferring all their assets. They abandoned this newly recognized bastard. You vicious woman. The look in Leo's eyes turned completely to fear as he stared at me. 2 days later, he went insane. I don't know if it was Dorian's doing. But he really did go mad. Summer didn't come today? I got into Dorian's car. We had agreed to go for Western food. She's a third wheel. Why bring her? Dorian looked at me, the corners of his lips curling slightly upward. Seems you're not afraid of the poisonous rose anymore? I laughed as well. I told you, I know my limits. Dorian stepped on the accelerator. Neon lights flickered along the road as he gazed at me with eyes full of tenderness. And I, in turn, met his gaze. I'm an adult, fully aware of his worth. So, a good man? I'd take. A good man with money? I'd take that too.